And I think, moving forward, that's exactly what's going to happen. You've mentioned areas where we disagree. I believe that America is a nation of immigrants. Everybody agrees that the system is broken. There has been ample opportunity for Congress to pass a bipartisan immigration bill that would strengthen our borders. Improve the legal immigration system, lift millions of people out of the shadows. So they are paying taxes and getting right by the law. It passed out of the Senate. I gave the House. Over a year to go ahead and at least give a vote to the Senate bilaterally, they failed to do so. And I indicated to Speaker Boehner several months ago that if, in fact, Congress failed to act, I would use all the lawful authority that I possess to try to make the system work. Better. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen before the end of the year. But what I've also said to them, and I said this during the lunch with the Speaker and Leader McConnell, is that I am always interested in negotiating a legislative solution to the immigration problem. And that the minute they pass a bill that I can sign that fixes our immigration system, then any executive actions I take are replaced. So they have the ability to fix the system. What they don't have the ability to do is to expect me to stand by with a broken system in perpetuity. And I would advise that if, in fact, they want to take a different approach, rather than devote a lot of time trying to constrain my lawful actions as the chief executive of the US government in charge. Of our enforcing our immigration laws, that they spend some time passing a bill and engaging with all the stakeholders. The immigrant rights groups, the law enforcement groups, the evangelicals. The business community, all of whom have said this is something that needs to be done, is way overdue. And we've been talking about it for 10 years now, and it's been consistently stalled. So with respect to Keystone, I've been clear in the past, Pete. My position hasn't changed, that this is a process that is supposed to be followed. Right now you have a case pending in Nebraska, where the pipeline would run through. In which a state court judge has questioned the plan. And until we know what the route is, it's very hard to finish that evaluation. And I don't think we should short-circuit that process. I have also noted that, as policy matter, my government believes that we should. Judge this pipeline based on whether or not it accelerates climate change or whether it helps the American people with their energy costs and their gas prices. And I have to constantly push back against this idea that somehow the Keystone Pipeline is either this massive jobs bill for the United States, or is somehow lowering gas prices. Understand what this project is. It is providing the ability of Canada to pump their oil, send it through our land. Down to the Gulf, where it will be sold everywhere else. That doesn't have an impact on US gas. Prices. You know what does have an impact on US gas prices is the incredible boom in US oil production and natural gas production that's taken place under my administration. And if my Republican friends really want to focus on what's good for the American people in terms of job creation and lower energy costs, we should be engaging in a conversation about what are we doing to produce even more homegrown energy. I'm happy to have that conversation. With respect to the climate change deal, I have been very clear that I have responsibilities as president not just to current generations, but to future generations. The science is indisputable. The planet is getting warm. And it is getting warmer in part because of man-made activity. And the release of carbon gases, carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases into the atmosphere can have a potentially devastating effect that will cost our country, could devastate communities, could increase the impact of natural disasters. And will have an impact worldwide that is destabilizing and could affect our national security. That's not my opinion, by the way, that is the opinion of our Joint Chiefs of Staff. That climate change is a direct national security threat. Now the argument that I've received in the past has been either denial of the science or, alternatively, there's no point in us doing something about it despite us being one of the two largest emitters in the world. Because if we do something and China doesn't do anything, we'll just put ourselves at a competitive disadvantage, we'll lose jobs to China, and the problem won't be solved anyway. I'm not going to deny the science, but I took seriously the notion that We want all countries to participate in solving a global problem. And so I engaged with China over a lengthy set of negotiations. And by all independent accounts, for the first time, we got China to make a very serious commitment to constrain its greenhouse gases. Why would anybody be against that? That sounds like the right thing to do to me. So that's a response to those specific ideas. But let me reiterate what I said at the top. The fact that I disagree or Republicans disagree with me on a certain set of issues. Doesn't exclude us working together on a whole range of issues where we do agree. They're interested in tax reform, so am I. Let's get to work. They're interested. In promoting trade that will create jobs and opportunity for U.S. workers and U.S. businesses all over it. It's part of what this Asia trip has been all about. They're interested in rebuilding our roads, our bridges, our ports. Our airports, putting people back to work, making sure we're competitive. I'm game. So the one thing that I think is going to be important for us to have a successful partnership over the next couple of years is not making disagreements on a single issue suddenly a deal breaker on every issue. Democracy can never work that way because there are always going to be some differences. And when there are differences, you can't elevate those differences above the commonalities. I'm sorry that was a long answer, but it was a lot of questions. Do you want to? Daong San Suukyi, I'm sorry the president can't get away from all those. Barack Obama, I know. But before SUU responds to the point about the constitutional amendment, I just want to emphasize. Ultimately it's up to the people of Burma to make a decision about all these provisions. I expressed an objective view that some of current provisions don't seem to have much. Grounding in common sense or precedent when you look at other constitutions around the world. And seem more focused on advantaging or disadvantaging certain players. And one of the basic concepts of a constitution is that it creates a level playing field for all people. And then so I use that as an example not because I think my voice is the one that's most relevant. In terms of the constitutional amendment process, but ultimately it's up to the people of Burma. Q. Off mic. Barack Obama, I did. It doesn't make much sense to me. Daong San Suukyi, I believe democracy should stand up for that principle. Barack Obama, absolutely. Daong San Suukyi, well. I've always said that it's somewhat flattering to have a constitution written with me in mind. But it shouldn't be done that way. That's not how a democratic constitution should be written. And we object to that clause not because it debars me from the presidency as such. But because it is against the principle of democracy and also unconstitutional. The Constitution says that all citizens should be treated as equals. And this is discrimination on the grounds of my children's spouses, etc., etc. Now, this is not acceptable. And our people are firmly behind us in our desire to change this clause. And if President Obama said anything about the necessity to change a clause like that, they will love him very much for it. So he will be very popular among our people. And as he said, in the end, it is up to our people to shape the destiny of our country. Including the way the Constitution is going to be rewritten. And I think the majority of our people understand that this Constitution cannot stand as it. Is if we want to make the full transition to democracy, 59, F, as you know. Debars anybody who is children of the spouses of the children belong to our citizens of another country. And according to the law, and I think the president will know the law better than I do. Because I'm not a lawyer, according to the law, anybody who is over the age of 18, or whatever legal adult age may be in his or her country, is responsible for himself or herself. Nobody else is responsible for that person. So from that point of view also, you cannot penalize anybody for what his or her adult children do. From that point of view, it's illegal, it's against all norms of justice. And from the point of view of democracy, it is not right to discriminate against one particular citizen. You wouldn't like to be discriminated against, would you?